Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Richard Nongard, and I'm really excited that you've joined me for this 10-part course called Wealth Planting. Now you can actually see that on my desk are actual flower pots and a planter. I'll get to that in a couple of minutes. But this course is designed to be a very practical course, a hands-on course. I'm going to teach you in 10 modules some of the keys to achieving success in life. Every now and then I'm having a conversation with somebody and they ask me, what is it that separates the person who's wealthy from the person who only hopes to be wealthy? And it's almost always taking concrete, specific actions. So this course is very practical. There are 10 videos, and although the videos are short, each video is accompanied by a 2-page PDF, a handout, if you will, that continues to explain some important concepts, but also gives you some very specific tasks that you can do. When you engage in these tasks, when you actually start planting your own garden of wealth, you're going to harvest the rewards. The rewards, of course, are not only abundance, not only fulfillment, not only a sense of security and maybe even a sense of freedom in life, but actually cold hard cash. And that's really the great thing about this. There are many different ways to measure wealth, but one of the easiest ways to measure wealth is, do I have more now than I had before? And this course is going to teach you some very specific strategies for doing that. And so let me first introduce the flower pots, and actually some little planters that I got from my mom. My mom has a garden, and I was over at her house several months back, and she was actually using these planters to take some little flowers and to actually put them in her garden. And as I was watching her work, in her flower garden, I was just captivated by the idea of planting and harvesting. She took small flowers that maybe had a couple of small flowers, but mostly just some buds and some leaves, and she planted them in the garden. As over the last several months I visited my mom, the flowers have begun to bloom, they've begun to blossom, and they've gotten bigger and bigger. Several years ago, I planted a vegetable garden in my backyard. I bought peppers that were this big, pepper plants, but they yielded peppers that were almost twice as big as each pot, and numerous peppers for each plant. And so as I visited my mother and as I watched her flower garden grow and the abundance of those beautiful flowers, I thought to myself, you know, this really is a fantastic metaphor for how we can create wealth and harvest abundance in our own life. And so I actually decided to take these pots home, and I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with them at first. And so each day I simply put $1 in a pot. That's all I did. I just put $1 in a pot each day. Each day I walked by, I put this actually in my kitchen, and I walked by and I just put $1 in. Each day I just put $1 in each one of these, and eventually I filled them all up. Now you can see there's 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, sorry, for a minute I lost track of my math. 15 pots are here. And I actually filled it with $15, basically about 2 weeks worth of dollar bills. And since they were all full, I wasn't quite sure what to do with them, so I simply took all of the dollars out. And I had a pile of $15. Now you've heard the expression before, a dollar saved is a dollar earned, or a penny saved is a penny earned. Now, there are ways to actually compound their money. I think anyone who wants to become truly wealthy needs to learn about compounding interest. But I think it's really important that before we even move to that point, we get in the habit of not spending all that we have. Years ago, I used to do a lot of on-site live training throughout Texas. And so just about every Wednesday, I would drive to some location. I would usually do training on a Thursday and Friday, and then I'd return Friday night. Every Wednesday before I set on my journeys, whether it was to Dallas or Houston or Midland or somewhere else in Texas, I would always stop at the bank and I'd get $200 or $300 or $400 for my trip. And it was amazing. I almost always returned Friday with just a couple of dollars or even change in my pocket. And I always wondered, did I spend all of the money that I brought, or did I take exactly what I needed? The reality is I was actually spending everything I was bringing with me. And that was really my first realization that one of the ways to create wealth was to begin to save. And so I began saving money. And of course, compounding interest literally is the key to creating wealth, because it takes a pile of dollars and turns it into a bigger pile of dollars. But I think the habit or the action of beginning to save is in and of itself an important process to engage in. And so the flower pots here, these small flower pots, are actually a real visual for you. And I'm going to encourage you to literally go to the garden or go to a friend's house or neighbor's or even your own backyard and get a planter just like this and actually put $1 in each day, because $1 in and of itself really isn't too much money. It really won't buy you too much in this world. But when you put 15 of them together at the end of 2 weeks and you take the money out, $15 is kind of nice to have. There are actually a lot of really cool things that you can do with $15. Or by putting $2 a day in each pot, at the end of 2 weeks you'll have $30, and with $30 you could actually take the whole family to the dollar movies and actually get a bucket of popcorn and some soft drinks for everybody. And so there are actually things that we can do with this money that we can't do if we only have $1. I also think by actually taking the money out at the end of 2 weeks, we're actually practicing abundance. We're saying, I am worthy of what I have saved. And it becomes a habit, a way of actually making the task of saving money fun and practical. Now, there are some larger flower pots over here, because after I filled this up after the first 2 weeks, I decided that $1 a day, although it was kind of an interesting idea, was something I could probably do on a larger level. So I actually went out and I bought these flower pots, a little bit bigger. And since they're bigger, they actually hold a lot more money. And so each day I began to put a $20 bill in here. And so at the end of a month, I did this for a month, at the end of the month I had almost $600. Now $600 is a great deal of money. There are a lot of things a person can do with $600. Some people can actually pay their entire rent for a month if they were to save $600. I meet people all the time who feel like they're always just short at the end of the month. But by planting your $20 a day over a period of 30 days, you'll end up with really a great deal of money. A great deal of money. In fact, you can even challenge yourself, and this is something I always encourage people to do. As I've shared this concept, start with dollars, that's perfectly okay. Maybe move to 5, maybe move to 20s, and eventually move to $100 bills. So that perhaps you're putting a $100 bill in each pot each day, whether that's for 2 weeks or whether that's for 30 days, ending up with even $3,000 in cash. And that's really a pretty cool idea for actually moving from the idea of, yes, I need to save some more money, to actually beginning the process of not only the habit of saving money, but also of harvesting your wealth, of using that money that you put in the pot each day to buy something nice for yourself, or to invest in your own business so that you can compound it yourself through new ideas and new endeavors that maybe you, to this point, haven't had the opportunity to do before, because you hadn't been in the habit of saving that money. Perhaps you've been in the habit of spending all that you have each and every day, or each and every trip, or each and every month. And this is a way to break those old patterns and step into a new pattern, even though it's on a very small level. But by changing our old patterns and stepping into new patterns in life, we step into a chapter of abundance, we step into wealth, and we're actually taking action on a daily basis. A concrete reminder that I can conceive and I can achieve the ideas that I set for myself. I'm Dr. Richard Nongard, and this has been video number 1 in our series on wealth planting.